Today we will compare plant and animal cells. Plants and animals are made up of millions of cells, and these cells are of eukaryotic type. There are several similarities as well as differences between animal and plant cells. If the cells are eukaryotic cells, it means clearly that there would be presence of membrane bound organelles as well as a true nucleus in the cell that is enclosed and separated from rest of the organelles which are found in the cell, and the separation of nucleus from rest of the organelles and cytoplasm is made possible by presence of nuclear membrane, which is a crucial factor that defines their mode of multiplication. They have similar reproduction processes of mitosis as well as meiosis, and they use their DNA that is housed by the cell nucleus. Both plant and animal cells have membrane bound cell organelles, and they perform similar functions in both types of cells, but sometimes the mechanism to maintain and control the cell's normal function is not that similar. These organelles include nucleus, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, a ribosome, mitochondria, cytoskeleton, peroxisome, and cell membrane. They also undergo cellular respiration, which performs different processes of energy production, and that energy is used to grow the cells and to maintain their normal function. Despite many similarities, there are several differences in plants and animal cells. Few differences that exist between both types of cells are very significant and can reflect difference in function of both types of cells. Plant cells have larger size as compared to that of the animal cells, but size is not the only point to differentiate both types of cells. Beyond the size, there are many structural differences between plants and animal cells, and these differences lie in some structures and in some functions of both types of cells. And mainly different organelles which are found in the plant cell are chloroplast and cell wall and vacuoles, which are not present in the animal cell. First of all, we will see how different the animal cell is from that of the plant cell. Animal cells are the basic functional unit of life of all animals, and these cells constitute animal body. All cell organelles that perform a variety of different functions to support the animal metabolism. And while if we go to define the plant cell, then we see that plant cells are basic functional unit of plant body, and it constitute different cell organelles, and these organelles may perform different functions, and ultimately these cells support metabolism of plant body. If we compare size and shape of both type of cells, animal cells shape and size varies from that of the plant cell, as animal cell can have irregular shape or the round shape and is not that well defined shape as that of the plant cell due to the presence of cell wall around plant cell. Plant cells are larger than the animal cells, and their size ranges from 10 micron to 100 micron in length. Plant cells have certainly different shape from that of the plant, that of the animal cells. but most of the plant cells are rectangular and cube shaped. Presence of a cell wall around the plant cell is a distinct character which is found only in plant cells but is not found in animal cells. Animal cells actually lack cell wall. Plant cells have a cell wall and it is mainly made up of cellulose, and this cell wall is a rigid membrane matrix which is found on the surface of all plant cells, and the primary role of cell wall is to protect the cell and all the contents which are found in the cell. Both type of cells have plasma membrane. That plasma membrane is a thin flexible membrane and it acts as a protective covering of animal cell. In animal cell it would be the outermost membrane, while in plant cell it would be surrounded by the presence of cell wall. Plasma membrane is selectively permeable. Its presence is actually very important for protection and permeability of different molecules across the membrane. In animal cells, ribosomes are used for protein synthesis and genetic coding of the protein and amino acid sequences. While in plants, there are ribosomes present, and the ribosomes are playing very important role for protein synthesis and cellular repair mechanisms. In animal cells, the lysosomes contain digestive enzymes, and digestive enzymes are purposed to break down cellular macromolecules. While plant cells rarely contain lysosomes, as plant vacuole and Golgi bodies handle molecular degradation of waste cellular products. Animal cells have many vacuoles but are of smaller size. While in plant cell there is distinct large central vacuole which occupies about 90% of the total cell's volume. In animal cell, the nucleus is present and it lies in the center of the cell, while in plant cell the nucleus is somehow on one side of the cell because of the presence of a central large vacuole in the cell. Centrioles are present in animals with their major functions involving assistance of cell division processes, while centrioles are not found in plant cells. In animals, peroxisomes perform oxidation mechanisms for specific biomolecules, and peroxisome also assist in the synthesis of plasmalogen lipid. While in plants, they function as cell oxidizers for cellular molecules, and they also help in synthesis of lipids and recycling of carbon from a phosphoglycolate during photorespiration. Plastids are not found in animal cells, while in plant cells they give pigmentation to the plant body, and they also facilitate to trap the light and energy which is used for photosynthesis. Plasmodesmata are absent in the animal cells, while in plant cells they facilitate the communication and transport of materials across plant cells. Animal cells have larger but fewer Golgi bodies, and the major function in the animal cell is to process and package protein as well as lipid macromolecules which are synthesized in the cell. While in plant cells they are smaller but they are more in number, and the major role is modification, processing, sorting, and packaging of the proteins for cellular secretion. Animal cells cannot synthesize amino acids, vitamins, and coenzymes, while the plant cells can synthesize different amino acids and vitamins. Cytokinesis will take place differently in animal cells and plant cells. In animal cells, it takes place by constriction, while in plant cells, this procedure will take place by the help of appearance of cell plates. If we keep an animal cell in a hypotonic solution, then osmosis will take place and water molecules will be taken in the cell by osmosis process, and the cell can burst very easily because the animal cell lacks presence of cell wall. If we place a plant cell in a hypotonic solution, then it will absorb water molecules by the process of osmosis, but the plant cell wouldn't burst that easily as the animal cell can burst in a hypotonic solution because the plant cell is surrounded by a cell wall.